This coffee is good this morning. Of course, I'd like to start off this Facebook Live. And of course, y'all already know Merle Rutledge running for governor of Virginia for the Republican nomination. And of course, today I got some things on my mind. And today is the day I'm going to say it. And that's just the way it is. Now, the Democrats is working on all cylinders at this time period, people. And it's so important that Republicans at this time come together, hold the line, and get prepared for what we are facing. We are facing a Democratic devil throughout this country. Now, we're seeing the hypocrisy all over the place from the Democratic Party. How they misled women. How they overlooked the allegations that they didn't overlook with President Trump. Now you're seeing Hillary Clinton, Oprah, all these different women's groups nationally at their leadership that stood against sexual assault, supposedly. Now, without reviewing their allegations, without a hearing, without a trial, without nothing, they're all endorsing Joe Biden for president of the United States of America. Now, I find this a little bit funny and very weird and sick of that while they're endorsing Joe Biden, they are denying Tara Reade's allegations in the same endorsement. Now, all their power players is coming out. Each one coming out saying he's the man for the job. The sexual assault person. Just like Justin Fairfax. We cover it up. Just like Virginia Governor Northam. We want him to resign. Now we covering it up on Mr. Blackface. All this is, people, if you put this stuff together, and I got a PhD in political bullshit. If you put this together, people, what you have here is splinter groups that the Democratic Party paid for to prey on the most vulnerable in society to get votes. And whenever the situation came back and flipped onto them, once again, they would go ahead and make another Waco, Texas out of people who go against the Democratic Party and their leadership. Now, the facts is here, people. These splinter groups like Me Too, Black Lives Matter, and all these different groups and all these different leaderships is all of a sudden endorsing Joe Biden for president of the United States, the segregationists. Now, mind you, you put all of this together. All this was paid for groups, paid for leadership to basically say whatever they want them to say. So this is the time where they have all came out. This is one of the Democratic Party's biggest hypocrisy ever done on America, and it's clearly being exposed. Now, some people are paying too much attention. Number one, you was helping that segregationist all this damn time. So I pretty much, not saying I don't care, but the fact is what you're talking about pretty much is for the Democratic agenda. Because you've been helping them all this time, and then when things flip back on you, you decide, hey, I'm going to come out. Realistically, this isn't the strategy Republicans should be playing on. The fact is, we should be calling out Alicia Milano, whatever her name is, and the rest of them who said all women should be believed. Now, all of a sudden, she reverses course and says, hey, get President Trump out. Oh, I'm going to deny the allegations. But remember, when President Trump had the Stormy Daniels and all this other crap going on, remember how Democrats was like, we need to have a hearing. We need to have an impeachment inquiry. We need to do all of this type of investigation and crap. And now you're seeing the hypocrisy. Now you don't see Don Lemon, MSNBC, CNN, and the rest of them going in on Tara Reade's allegations. That's because that's how powerful the Democratic machine is when they are doing the devil's work. Now, all of a sudden, everybody is denying this woman's allegations. They tearing her down, discrediting her. The same thing that they were doing in Waco, Texas. The same thing they were doing to President Trump. The same thing they were doing to the Republican Party. And now they're saying, basically, we're going to basically say, forget all of that. But now we need to focus on winning the presidency of the United States of America against Trump. Destroying the economy. Destroying people's way of lives. So all of this crap is all the Democratic plot to get America in the devil's hands. That's what it boils down to. And then you got all these people who have followed this leadership. They having questions about which way to go because now they felt like they was lied to. Now all their leadership is just coming out. They ain't consulting the groups. They just basically being out there to say, I represent this sexual assault group. I represent this group for women and vice versa. And I'm trying to tell on their behalf that we don't believe the allegations. But guess what? They didn't do a damn thing that they did against President Trump, against Joe Biden. All of these different news networks covering up the crap. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Merle Relish really has never gave a damn about the liberal media. I already seen what the liberal media tried to do to me. And I already seen what it has done to so many people across America that's been telling the truth about the swamp. Now, in these splinter groups, that's what I call it, these groups that reach out into certain neighborhoods and certain communities and prey on the vulnerable and those who are blinded to the BS going capitals. And now you're seeing all these groups the Democratic Party paid for to give out the message at a whim. So if you're a Democrat at this time period, what you're seeing is basically the election being bought off not only in America, but also get help outside of America to win this election. And they haven't came up with a plan of how to help the ordinary American get back to work because they've been spending their time keeping them out of work. So now they're using that depression. They're using their oppression. Every kind of strategy from Jim Crow that they can use in modern society to basically tell people, if you don't vote this way, you will get destroyed. That's the message that the Democratic Party is putting out there to millions and millions and millions of American citizens. We will destroy you if you come out against the Democratic Party, whether you're telling the truth or not. Now, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and all of Hillary Clinton, all these Me Too leaders and all this other crap, now you're seeing exactly what they was there for. They've been pocketing millions and millions and millions of dollars, loading up their war chests at the expense of American ignorance within their own party. Now, I'm not a fan of basically going without evidence against a certain group or individual, but the evidence is clear here, people. It's very clear. Very clear. You look at all these groups and what they are saying is basically we are turning against our own claimed victims because we now know we are the predators. That's what it is. Now, I'm a Republican. I don't believe in being the prey or the victim. I believe in being the predator, and I believe in kicking Democratic ass all the way out because I recognize the BS. Like I said, too many people are not calling this crap out. I couldn't believe how many people came out from the Democratic Party claiming to be sexual assault victims and all this other crap, and then saying, without looking at any evidence, without looking at the story, without looking at the proof? Do people know that the DC police or the Metro police, whatever, who was assigned to the investigation of Tara Reid, already closed out the investigation? And they did it almost silently until I caught the article. And I said, hold on. You did all of this to President Trump. You did all of this to Republicans. Came out, even for a hug. Y'all had an investigation. Y'all had months on saying it wasn't enough time to sift through the details. But you're saying because Joe Biden, like Virginia Governor Northam, denied that was enough to say, I believe him. Like I said, people, this ain't about Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the token. He's the token. He can't even remember next week. The fact is, you seeing all them vice presidential candidates, and they all got something in common. They all screwed their way up to the top. And that's what it is. Screwed the American people, played them all the way up to the top. And now they all fighting, selling their souls to the devil, all to become vice president. You know why? Because Joe Biden probably ain't going to make it 4 years. That's just what it is. And they all know the likelihood to become president of the United States rise in the vice presidential nomination. Now, this is the facts, people. Why will all of them be doing all this stupid crap? I get emails now talking about who you want to see as the vice president for Joe Biden and all this other stuff like it's the straw poll. And at this time period, if you are vice president or if you are a candidate for the presidency of the United States, aren't you supposed to be making that call? But it seems like everybody in America, everybody in the Democratic Party has to pick out who your vice presidential candidate is going to be. That's why this election is so important, people. It ain't about Joe Biden and paid for and sponsored by racists. This is about who his pick is going to be to make sure they follow the same line that Joe Biden is following. You look stupid, you answer the question that we want to answer, and you look like you don't remember. Across America to tell people the truth about what's going on with this nation. This nation is being faced with the consequences of liberal ignorance. That's what it is. And if you ain't catching this situation, now look at all these damn groups that are out and about and just basically exploiting this whole thing and discrediting allegations, discrediting this, discrediting that. But they didn't give President Trump the same favor. So Democrats, y'all know that every single time frame my allegation came out about President Trump, about any Republican, oh, they wanted to make it a big deal and a spectacle. They wanted to make it a big deal so they could go ahead and still prey on the most vulnerable, prey on the people who don't check out the details. See, the major people who they are preying on are the ones who I hate Trump, but I don't know why I hate him. But the Democrats have told me to hate him, and I ain't trying to cross the party. But I see this guy doing everything good for the very communities that they talk about he's being racist to. But Governor Northam, like I said, pay all that campaign cash for the Mr. Blackface episode. And guess what? Every single person I asked them to resign, Hillary Clinton and all them other little craps, guess what? They ain't saying nothing about that. That's the hypocrisy all over the place. If you pay enough money to the right people and you don't cross the Democratic Party, we will cover up anything. A lot of Democrats should be in the same jail cell as Harry Weinstein. And also, I wonder about Epstein's guilt. The reason is, you're telling me you turned on them, but all of a sudden Tara Reid doesn't get the same justice. Y'all made sure he was in court, old as hell, and gave him all them years in jail. He's going to die in jail. And you trying to tell me Joe Biden gets a pass? You trying to tell me seriously? So what does this tell me? What does this tell me? They use every single thing to win this election. Every single thing, and sold their souls to the devil. That's all it boils down to. The hypocrisy is all over the place. The very people who hung out with all of these different pedophiles within the Democratic Party and all that crap, if you start noticing their eyes is darker than ever before. You look at about 20 years ago and look at their eyes now. Doesn't their eyes look like the same eyes of murderers? I took that into account. I looked at Oprah's eyes. I said, your eyes is so damn dark. It looks like you killed a few people. Look at Hillary Clinton. Look at the rest of them who all hung out with the Democratic Party, and all of a sudden they all mysteriously dying somewhere. So this is exactly what they do, people. So if you're talking about you are for the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, for constitutional rights or civil rights, you're in the very party that stood against it. Plain and simple. They will stand against you any kind of way if it doesn't fit their script. And the DNC is a powerful form of monsters. Them bastards been practicing this all the way down the line. You don't think they sat up in the boardroom and said, hey, all you group leaders, we're going to fund you. We're going to pay for you. But make sure you say exactly what we say. And when we tell you to stand down, you better stand down. And when we want you to jump all over somebody, whether it's the liberal media, whether it is your friend or neighbor, whatever it may be, you stand against them. This is a cult now. The Democratic Party is the real cult. Plain and simple. All it is misled people wandering around, following anything that the Democratic Party tells them to do. If the Democratic Party tells them be against this sexual assault person, okay, they're going to be against them. But if they tell, shut up, cover this up, we know he's been out there on islands messing with kids, you stand down. And that's what you do. And or we excommunicate. Doesn't that sound like a cult to me? Doesn't that sound like communism? To me, that sounds like dictatorship. That's totalitarian. All these different vices, they are playing by Hitler's playbook right now here in America. Basically, America has become a concentration camp during this month, during this shutdown for democratic agendas. And they haven't let down an inch. Right now, you have a bunch of governors not about the American people. They just trying to see who has the hardest lockdown. Like it's some kind of gangster movie. Okay, well, if you took away them doing gardening, I gotta do something a little bit harder than that. I gotta go ahead and take away the fact of them playing with their kids in the park. Are you more gangster than that? All that is them putting extra measures and basically kicking people while they down and letting them know how powerful they're going to be once they get to DC. And they got a bunch of cult members doing exactly their bidding. That's what it is. And that's exactly the devil's playbook. Make sure he doesn't exist, but you're doing his work. And people ain't paying attention and looking hard into the details, they ain't going to be able to see this. That's why it's so important for Republicans to point this crap out all over the country. We got too many people right now. If they can do this across America, we can start talking about the truth across America, about what's happening here, and letting them people. So that's the hypocrisy that's going on with the Democratic Party. Start paying attention to their splinter groups. Those splinter groups like Me Too and all this other crap that prey on the most vulnerable. And you'll start paying attention that they are preaching their own hypocrisy and not caring at this point because they said, I already been bought and paid for. Like I said, one of the things most investigators do, or most people paying attention, follow the money. Follow the people who have been funding these groups for the longest kind of time. And you'll start noticing, putting it together, that they are doing exactly whatever the Democratic Party tells them to do, even if it runs counter to their group's creed and mottos or what they are standing for. So if you're part of the Democratic Party, start thinking about this. You're part of a cult that excommunicates you, discredits you whenever you find out corruption is existing in their backyard, in their front yard, in their office, in DC or whatever. You get torn down. And like I said, it's going to take some strong leaders, people with backbone, who doesn't sniff on the liberal crap. It's going to take y'all making sure all across America that we don't vote in any more politicians. We take down this stupid Democratic Party because they have went so far to the left, people can't even find out where the Democratic Party is at because they're saying we just doing whatever we need to do to destroy America and take America out of good leadership, out of where it needs to be. Because right now they have shown how they can change up society, change up your world within a whim under bad leadership. That's why I'm running for governor of Virginia, because all this crap wouldn't be happening in Virginia that's happening all across this nation. And we only had common sense leaders like President Trump and the rest that's actually out there trying to do something, while Democrats are still tearing them down on everything. That's what they do, people. This is the Democratic agenda. They don't talk about how much good President Trump is doing. They don't talk about how much good Republicans are doing. If anything good happens, they go ahead and hit below the belt because they're like, we have to discredit him. He's looking too good. They're not thinking about the country and America and American families. They are thinking about their own self-greed. That's all it's about. That's why you don't hear about them talking about how people are recovering, how people are trying to go back to work and live their way of life, how people are not able to have their businesses survive. They're basically on life support and they trying to hold back small business loans and help for those entrepreneurs and those businesses out there that's looking to thrive and build wealth for their families. They're not talking about that. They're doing everything to stop it. That's all because this is what politics has came to them. Even for illegals talking about, hey, let's give out money to them. Let's do this and let's do that. And you got American citizens and veterans starving and broke and trying to figure out how they are going to live in this country. Now they're trying to plan a will on how to die in this country right now because they don't know what's going to happen. That's the craziness that the Democratic Party has put out there for you, and you. All out there. And they don't care. Like I said, the cult is alive and well. And all they doing right now is excommunicating those in America who goes against their agenda and playing Jehovah's Witness with the rest of them. That's what this has became. This has became a cult of a Democratic Party. So if you want to join the cult, because they'll say everything out the woodwork on us, the cult is there. Join them if you want to live in a society like this for the rest of your life. The Republican Party is the only one talking about freedom. Brian Kemp out of Georgia decided all this trash about coronavirus, all this crap. He opened back up his state because he got sick of the crap. That's leadership. I give him credit for that. The fact is, other governors need to take on that same damn leadership. Because right now, who wants to live in America that America is going to use this as a policy moving forward? And that's what the Democratic Party is trying to do all across this country. The hypocrisy is in. Biden is only a token. Only a token. The splinter groups is in, backing the Democratic Party, showing the devil's little helpers that are out there. And now you're seeing them all do everything they can, ignoring common sense. All because they want to take out President Trump. There is not anybody in this world worth destroying America for And a Democratic Party is showing you right now how you live every single day right now in America. That's what they are trying to destroy, America. Like I said, they took the Bible out. They're trying to take God out. They're going after Christians right now, trying to protect Muslims and illegals right now. That's the facts, people. You can't tell me it's not that way, because that's exactly what they've been doing. And now, all of a sudden, they're going against everything they stood for to protect Joe Biden, having the media shut down stories, trying to cover up. Now they're trying to make her look like the crazy wake up. But the fact of the matter is, you look at all of this stuff across America, this is the Democrats doing their business. So when you look at November, when you look at May elections, when you look at 2021, America, it doesn't matter whether it's your black thing, white thing, or anything, or race thing, or anything about it. This is about America, the blood that you have in your soul, what you have been brought up, your story, our story, the rest of the story, whatever it may be. It's about keeping American traditions and values and exactly making sure America grows stronger. Because Democrats have showed you exactly what they would do. Destroy America to get what they want. We didn't come up that way. So as far as I'm concerned, if you ain't voting Republican, if you ain't voting for strong conservatives, not career politicians that need term limits, this is the society that all of them in office has led to happen here in America. So why would you keep them bastards in? That's the thing. You have to ask yourself. Now, this is moral relish. This is me just being pissed off. But at the same time frame, you can play this nice little Facebook Live anywhere to any Democrat, whatever. They all going to say the same exact thing. Moral relish is right. He's telling me the truth. Now my eyes are seeing it because I know that's what's going on here in America. They are doing everything. The Democratic Party is doing everything. And their flunkies, elitists, they're millionaire and billionaire backers to control American society and basically tell you what to do, how to live, and who to become. This is socialism all over it. That's what this is right now. And if we don't act now, Republicans expect us to be walking in chains and having a slave master who is basically the cult leader. And we decide to keep going in this direction. We need true patriots that are in office, that has a backbone, that is not going to bend over like this. Because damn it, if they ain't all over Brokeback Mountain right now doing the devil's business. So this is Moral Relish. I had to go ahead and speak my mind like I usually do. And y'all have to look at your heart and soul and start telling Democrats, and having them even watching my Facebook Lives. I want Democrats at all my speeches because I'm going to tell you face to face. This is what your party is about. And that's why you must go to the Republican Party. And it ain't going to take no little nice little person talking all polite to get that done. That ain't how they work. The Democratic Party doesn't work that way. You hear how they talk about Republicans saying, fuck Trump, fuck the Bible, fuck this. That's how they talking. And guess what? Look at what's being backed by them. And look at their position right now. They ain't talking nice. They ain't being polite because they don't have a care for it in the world. That's just like you going to the devil and telling the devil, hey, can I talk to you nicely? And see if the devil decides to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to listen and change my ways. I'm like, what does a snake do? A snake will bite you and turn on you at any given time period. And that's what it is, Democrats. If Tara Reid can't be protected, if others can't have a fair shake because they went against the party, what happens to you when you speak up against the party? That's the biggest question. Because I've been speaking up against the establishment all my campaign long. I don't give a damn if you the damn chairman of the GOP. I don't give a damn if you are the state chair of the GOP or whatever. If I have a problem with you, I tell you face to face. And I tell you whenever you want to, meet me face to face, because you ain't going to tell Merle Rutledge what to do. And I give it worse to Democrats, but I damn sure give it even harder to rhinos, because the rhinos are the ones who need to be put back in line. Sometimes they lose their way too, and when they playing by the devil playbook, and they are the ones who have to be reminded, you gotta understand why Republicans are attacking you, because you are a traitor. That's just what it is. So anyway, I got better things to do today. I got Democrat open Virginia, because quite frankly, I think the political hoax up there needs to be exposed. And then after I'm done with Richmond, I'm heading up to Dare County, North Carolina, to expose that damn fucking governor, the Ralph, whatever, north of, I can't even pronounce his name right, because Mr. Blackface is all I know him by. So y'all have a great day. I felt I had to get this all off my chest. And y'all Republicans, stay strong. Stay in there. All this crap is coming to an end soon. I'm going to be all over the state. Northern Virginia, Southwest Virginia, South side of Virginia. Doesn't matter what part of Virginia. I'm going to be there. When I say I'm showing up, guaranteed I'm going to be there. That's just the way it is. And if you have any Republicans that have a problem with Merle Rutledge and his language, you tell them to show up too. I don't do that behind the back stuff. You got a chance to sit down, look me face to face, eye to eye. Don't worry about the security, because I don't need it. The fact is, I'm a patriot and got American heart and soul, and whatever happens, happens. Party, you attack every single chance you get against the Democratic Party. This is how we win back Virginia.